All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going deep into a story, a story that's pretty much larger than life. It's the rise of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the businessman, the TV personality,
Right.
and of course, the 45th president of the United States.
Of course.
Now, before you think this is all about politics, we're going to be focusing on something else. His journey to success, particularly in the world of business.
And I think what makes this deep dive really interesting is that regardless of where you stand politically on Trump, his story really offers this fascinating window into American business and American culture, you know?
Yeah, I think
so.
so.
It's just a tale. It's full of ambition, risk-taking, and yes, a fair share of controversy.
For sure. And we have an amazing mix of sources to guide us here. We've got Wikipedia articles on his business dealings, his personal life, his official White House bio, and we even found some revealing YouTube clips.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to try to uncover how Trump built his empire from those early days in New York real estate to his forays into the world of casinos, sports.
Oh, wow.
Even beauty pageants.
And you know what? Along the way, we're going to highlight some key vocabulary and idioms.
Ooh.
And for you, our English language learners out there, give you some real-world examples of how these words are used in context.
I love it.
So, shall we start at the beginning?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's start at the beginning. Donald Trump, born in Queens, New York, to a family already involved in real estate.
Okay.
His father, Fred Trump, was a very successful developer building affordable housing. So you could say that, real estate was
in his blood.
In his blood, it really was.
Yeah.
Now, Trump often boasts about building his empire from a small loan.
Oh, yeah.
From his father. A small loan of $1 million or so.
The small loan narrative. Yeah, that's a recurring theme,
in Trump's self-promotion.
Yeah.
But the sources, particularly this Wikipedia article on his business career, paint maybe a slightly different picture.
Really? How so?
Well, it wasn't just a small loan.
Right.
We're talking millions of dollars in loans, inheritance, trust funds, and access to, his father's business connections. So that suggests that Trump's his starting point was far from a typical entrepreneurial struggle. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. It really does seem like having a wealthy and well-connected father gave him a pretty significant advantage right out of the gate. But even with that head start, you still need ambition. You still need drive to succeed.
Oh, absolutely. And Trump certainly had that, in spades.
Yeah.
Even in his early days, he displayed this knack for self-promotion and this willingness to push boundaries.
Oh.
There's this rather interesting anecdote about him pretending to be his own publicist.
Wait, really? Like fake names and all that?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So it seems that Trump, using aliases like John Barron, would call up reporters, especially those from Forbes magazine, and plant stories about his wealth and his successes.
Wow, so he was already playing the media game early on. Pretty audacious, wouldn't you say?
Oh, it certainly shows a shrewd understanding of how media attention can be used to build a persona and inflate perceived value.
Yeah.
And English learners, take note, audacious means bold or daring.
Yeah.
Often in a way that disregards normal rules or conventions.
Perfect example. So it seems like this audacious approach would become like a hallmark of his career.
Yeah.
Now Trump eventually set his sights on Manhattan, the heart of New York City's real estate world.
And he made sure to make a grand entrance. Think Trump Tower. That glittering skyscraper on Fifth Avenue.
Huge.
Big, huge.
Trump Tower was a statement project. It was a symbol of his ambition and his desire to be seen as this major player in the New York real estate scene. But, it wasn't all smooth sailing. The construction process was fraught with challenges.
But really?
Yeah, including legal battles.
Okay.
And accusations of using undocumented workers.
Yeah, the controversies.
Always there.
They were always there. They were never far behind.
Right.
But it seems like he thrived on them, almost using them to fuel his publicity machine.
Yeah.
And speaking of publicity, wasn't there something about an ice skating rink?
You're thinking of the Woolman rink in Central Park.
Yeah.
So the city had been struggling to renovate it for years.
Okay.
Going way over budget.
Yeah.
Missing deadlines. Trump swoops in.
Okay.
Promises to complete the project quickly and efficiently.
And he did, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He finished it ahead of schedule and under budget.
I remember reading that. That was a big deal.
But, the success wasn't without its own set of controversies.
Right.
Certain sources, particularly a New York Times article from that time, revealed that achieving this involved cutting corners on safety.
Oh, wow.
And using non-union labor. Tactics that would become, pretty characteristic of his approach to business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So even his successes came with a certain degree of scrutiny, but it is undeniable that he had a knack for generating headlines.
Oh, yeah.
Both good and bad.
Both, yeah.
And he wasn't just about skyscrapers and ice rinks. He also tackled the Grand Hyatt Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Transforming a rundown building near Grand Central Station into a glamorous destination.
So the Grand Hyatt project really demonstrated Trump's willingness to take risks and his ability to leverage his growing reputation to secure financing and partnerships. It also showcased his understanding of branding. The Trump name emblazoned in gold letters became synonymous with luxury and exclusivity.
Yeah, and let's not forget those signature gold letters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
It's like you couldn't escape them.
No.
But behind the glitz and the glamour, there were also financial troubles. Didn't some of his companies declare bankruptcy?
They did.
Oh, wow.
In fact, several of Trump's companies, including his casino ventures in Atlantic City, went through multiple bankruptcies.
Really?
He often claimed these were strategic maneuvers, using the bankruptcy laws to his advantage. But they also raised, questions about his financial management skills.
Yeah.
So
it's a mixed bag, right?
Yeah.
Successes and failures, triumphs and controversies.
Right.
All kind of intertwined. Seems like that's a recurring theme in Trump's story. But one thing's for sure, he was never boring.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
He was a master of generating attention and keeping himself in the public eye.
Yeah.
And English learners, this is a great example of how a single word, like master, can convey a lot of meaning.
Yeah, it really does. Master implies expertise,
skill,
control.
Control.
Yeah, and Trump certainly seemed to be a master of self-promotion and kind of manipulating the media to his advantage.
Yeah.
But his ambitions weren't confined to just real estate. He was always looking for new opportunities, new ways to expand his empire.
This drive to diversify beyond real estate, some argue, stemmed from a desire to be seen as more than just a real estate mogul. He wanted to be a multifaceted success, a brand that transcended a single industry.
Right.
And that's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so stay tuned. We are going to delve into Trump's ventures outside of real estate.
Yes.
From football teams to beauty pageants, casinos to even a short-lived airline. It's a wild ride, folks.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
We are just getting started.
Buckle up. All right, welcome back. Last time, we left off with Trump establishing himself as, well, a force to be reckoned with in the New York real estate world.
Right.
But as we know, he didn't stop there.
He did not.
He had this almost insatiable appetite for new ventures, always looking to expand his brand and, of course, his fortune.
Yeah, and what's fascinating about these ventures is that they often mirrored his personality, bold, risky, and always seeking that spotlight.
Yeah.
It's as if he he applied his real estate playbook to entirely different industries with varying degrees of success, let's say.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these ventures. I remember reading about his foray into professional football.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he buy a team in the USFL?
He did.
The United States Football League.
Yeah. In 1983, Trump purchased the New Jersey Generals.
Okay.
A team in this upstart league that was trying to compete with the NFL.
Okay.
And this move, in typical Trump fashion, it was seen as audacious.
Oh, okay.
And a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, and it was a gamble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, taking on the established NFL with its history and loyal fan base, that seems like a David versus Goliath.
It was a classic underdog story.
Yeah.
But Trump, being Trump, he wasn't content with just, playing the game.
Yeah.
He had a bigger strategy in mind.
Okay.
He envisioned forcing a merger with the NFL.
Oh, wow.
Believing that, that would increase the value of the USFL teams and lead to this, lucrative buyout.
So he wasn't just trying to win football games. He was playing a financial game.
Exactly.
Using the USFL as like a bargaining chip.
A bargaining chip, exactly.
Wow, yeah.
And to that end, he convinced the other USFL owners to move their season from the spring to the fall, going head-to-head with the NFL.
Okay.
And this move, while bold, ultimately proved
Yeah, I remember reading about this.
Yeah.
The USFL, they just couldn't compete with the NFL's deep pockets and established fan base.
Exactly. They ended up folding, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And many analysts saw, Trump's push for the fall schedule as a major factor in the league's demise.
Why?
The USFL did win an antitrust lawsuit against the NFL.
Okay.
Alleging, monopolistic practices.
Right.
But the victory was essentially symbolic.
Symbolic? What do you mean by that?
Well, they were awarded damages.
Okay.
But the amount was a paltry $3.
$3.
A classic example of what's called a Pyrrhic victory.
Okay.
A win that comes at such a high cost that it's essentially a defeat.
$3. Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost insulting.
It is, yeah.
So the USFL dream, it went bust.
It did.
But Trump, being Trump, he didn't stay down for long.
No.
Didn't he jump into the world of boxing promotion?
He did, after a brief flirtation with trying to purchase the Cleveland Indians baseball team.
Oh, okay.
Which didn't pan out.
Okay.
He dove headfirst into this this glitzy world of boxing.
Oh, wow.
He even hosted the famous Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks fight.
Oh, wow.
At his Trump Plaza Casino in Atlantic City.
It seems like he was always drawn to these high-profile, larger-than-life events.
Right.
Anything that could generate buzz. And put him in the spotlight.
And this wasn't just about personal enjoyment, though. These events were strategic moves.
Yeah.
Aligning his brand with successful athletes and spectacles that captured the public imagination.
Yeah, it's interesting how he leveraged those events to further build his brand. Remember the time he sponsored a bike race?
The Tour de Trump?
The Tour de Trump, yeah. It's almost comical thinking about him riding a bicycle.
Yeah. The Tour de Trump, later renamed the Tour du Pont. It perfectly illustrates his brand building strategy.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about cycling. It was about creating this association with this prestigious international event.
Right.
Further solidifying his image as this successful and influential figure.
It seems like he understood the power of branding long before it became the buzzword it is today.
He did. And this was also, the era of his best-selling book, The Art of the Deal, which further cemented his image as this master negotiator and business tycoon. The book, with its bold claims and brash style, it resonated with aspiring entrepreneurs. Yeah. And it fueled the public's fascination with Trump's persona.
And let's not forget his memorable cameo on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah.
which perfectly captured that era's perception of Trump as the ultimate real estate mogul.
Yeah, that episode where he tries to buy the Banks family's house.
Yes.
Is this, it's this fun pop culture reference.
Yeah.
But it also highlights a key vocabulary word, fixer-upper.
Oh, yes.
Remember, Hillary, the oldest daughter,
Yes.
tells Trump that the house is a fixer-upper.
Right, and it's a great term to know when you're talking about real estate. A fixer-upper is a property that needs renovation.
Right.
Something you could potentially buy at a lower price, and then with some work, turn it into a beautiful home.
It's a perfect example of how even casual TV shows can provide valuable vocabulary lessons, especially for our English language learners out there. So we've seen Trump try his hand at professional football, boxing promotion, and even sponsor a bike race. What do you think drove his desire to venture into such diverse fields?
I think it was partly ambition, that relentless drive to expand his empire and prove that he could succeed in any arena.
Right.
But it was also about building his brand.
Yes.
Creating this image of Donald Trump, this multifaceted
success story.
Yes, success story.
Yeah, someone who could conquer any industry he set his sights on. And that brings us to perhaps his most significant and controversial venture outside of real estate.
Okay.
The one that would ultimately give him this global platform. The Miss Universe organization.
Yes, the beauty pageants.
Yes.
This was a huge part of Trump's life for many years.
He was.
He purchased the organization in 1996.
Right.
And it quickly became synonymous with his brand of,
over-the-top glamour.
Yeah, over-the-top glamour and of course, controversy.
Always controversy.
Always controversy.
The Miss Universe pageant, along with Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, gave him access to a global audience.
Yeah.
You know, he relished the spotlight, surrounding himself with beautiful women, and further cultivating his image as this wealthy and powerful businessman. But it also brought him face to face with accusations of sexism and objectification of women.
It's interesting how some of these controversies, which emerged during his business ventures, would later become like major talking points during his political career. Almost as if these ventures were a testing ground.
Yeah.
A way for him to hone his skills in navigating
public scrutiny.
Yeah, public scrutiny and using controversy to his advantage.
It's a fascinating parallel, isn't it? And it raises the question, was his foray into politics a natural progression? This inevitable next step for someone who had already conquered the worlds of business and entertainment, or was it something else entirely? And that's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so stay tuned. We are going to unravel the last chapter of this captivating story.
Yes.
Examining Trump's transition from businessman to politician and the factors that led him to the ultimate seat of power, the White House. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the Donald Trump success story.
It has been quite a journey.
It really has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
From those early days in New York real estate, through those ventures into sports, entertainment, even beauty pageants.
Yes.
We've seen how Trump built his brand, amassed his fortune, and in the process, he became a global figure.
He really did.
Yeah.
And now we arrive at the chapter that some might say was inevitable.
Yeah.
The businessman, the celebrity, the self-proclaimed deal maker, setting his sights on the ultimate prize, the White House.
It's almost like something out of a movie, right?
It is.
This larger-than-life character deciding to take on the world of politics.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned earlier, this wasn't some sudden impulse. He'd been flirting with the idea of a political career for decades.
Yeah, his interest in politics dates back to the 1980s.
Really?
There are even accounts of him considering a presidential run.
Wow.
Back then.
So it seems that the idea had been simmering in the back of his mind.
For quite some time. Yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting how certain themes from his business career seem to kind of foreshadow his political aspirations. That knack for self-promotion, his comfort with controversy, and that unwavering belief in his ability to win no matter the odds.
Absolutely. And let's not forget that during his business ventures, he often positioned himself as a champion of the working class.
Okay.
A man who understood the struggles of everyday Americans.
Yeah.
And this populist rhetoric would become a cornerstone of his political campaigns.
Right. And those themes really, they came to the forefront in 2015 when he officially announced his candidacy for president. His campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again."
Oh, yeah.
It resonated with a segment of the population that felt overlooked and disenfranchised by the political establishment.
Yeah. That slogan, along with those iconic red "Make America Great Again" hats, became powerful symbols of his movement.
Okay.
They tapped into this deep well of economic anxiety and cultural resentment, particularly among white working class voters.
Now his campaign was unconventional, to say the least. He bypassed traditional media channels and relied heavily on social media to connect directly with voters.
Oh, very much so.
His massive rallies filled with enthusiastic supporters became like a hallmark of his campaign.
And his speeches, often unscripted and peppered with provocative statements, generated this constant stream of media coverage. He understood how to control the narrative, how to keep people talking about him, whether they loved him or hated him.
It was brilliant in a way.
It was.
He turned the media's obsession with him into free publicity, amplifying his message, solidifying his position as this political outsider, a disruptor of the status quo.
Right, and despite the controversies, the scandals,
the fact checks, that often labeled his statements as false or misleading. He managed to connect with a significant portion of the electorate.
He did.
His message of economic nationalism, his promises to bring back jobs, and his attacks on political correctness resonated with a base that felt ignored by the establishment.
Yes.
And in a stunning upset, he defeated Hillary Clinton, a seasoned politician with decades of experience, to become the 45th president of the United States.
And unbelievable.
It was a victory that sent shockwaves through the political world and signaled a dramatic shift in the American political landscape.
His victory really demonstrated the power of populism, the ability to tap into a deep well of discontent and channel it into a political movement. It also highlighted the growing distrust in traditional institutions and the media. A trend that has only intensified in recent years.
Looking back, it's clear that Trump's success, both in business and in politics, can't be attributed to just one factor. It was this combination of ambition, shrewd marketing, a willingness to break the rules, and this uncanny ability to connect with a certain segment of the population.
He was a master of branding, understanding how to create this persona that resonated with his target audience. He was also this gifted communicator, even if his style was often divisive and inflammatory.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I have a question for our listeners. What do you think are the key takeaways from Donald Trump's success story? What lessons can be learned from his unconventional path, both the positive and the negative?
It's a story full of contradictions and complexities, and it's one that will continue to be debated and analyzed for years to come.
Well, we hope this deep dive has provided some valuable insights.
I hope so.
And sparked some interesting conversations.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a reminder that success can take many forms, and the paths to achieving it are often unpredictable and unconventional.
And for our English language learners out there,
Sure.
we hope you've picked up some new vocabulary
Wow.
and gained a deeper understanding of how these words are used in real-world contexts.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Donald Trump success story.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of your English fluency.
We'll see you next time.